Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right? You're working hard, you're saving a little bit, but you're just not getting any richer? Well, it turns out that some of the most common financial advice we hear might actually be the very thing that's holding you back. In this explainer, we're going to break down 6 powerful mindset traps that keep so many people stuck.
Okay, let's just dive right in with a statement that's going to challenge pretty much everything you've been taught. You've heard it a million times, right? Start investing early, even if it's small. But what if, for young people with low savings, that's actually terrible advice?
So, if small, early investments aren't the answer, then what is? Well, it's a complete shift in focus. Instead of worrying about making your tiny savings work for you, your main goal in your 20s should be to make yourself earn dramatically more money.
That one idea, is the key to escaping the 6 mindset traps that we're about to break down. As we go through them, I want you to ask yourself honestly if any of them sound a little familiar, because spotting the trap is always the first step to getting out.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the myth of investing first, then we'll look at our spending habits, the whole employee mindset trap, the fear of risk, society's expensive checklist, and finally, what might be the single most important tool for building wealth.
All right, let's get into trap number 1. It's this idea that if you just faithfully put away a small amount each month, you'll eventually become wealthy. The hard truth? When you have low savings, the amount of money you invest is way more important than how long you're invested for. And listen, the math here is it's startling. 1,000 rupees a month over 10 years might get you to around 2 lakh. But if you focus on your income first and can later invest 30,000 a month, you hit that same 2 lakh in just 5 months. It's a completely different game. So where should that early savings go then? Instead of the stock market, think of it as investing in yourself. First, invest in skills to boost your earning power. Second, invest in the courage to switch jobs for a big salary jump. And third, invest in experiences, like travel, that can totally broaden your horizons and spark incredible new ideas.
But what happens after you start making more money? Well, that brings us right to trap number 2. This one's for anyone who's earning a good salary but still feels broke, because a lack of financial discipline means you have nothing to show for it at the end of the month.
Just take this story from the source material. There was a person earning 16 lakhs a year who, after their car loan and lifestyle expenses, was only investing 5,000 rupees a month. You see that tiny little sliver of the budget for investment? That's the entire problem. It's dangerously small. The very first step to plugging these leaks is, well, you got to find them. I want you to take a hard look at your bank statements. Actually add up what you spent last year on things like food delivery apps, all those subscriptions you forgot about, and all the small daily purchases. I'm telling you, the total will probably shock you. Okay, fixing your spending is one thing, but our third trap is purely psychological. It's the employee mindset, this idea that a job is the only real option. It keeps you planning for a lifetime of work instead of actually building true financial freedom. To get out of that trap, we have to be super clear on the goal. So, what does financial freedom really mean? Because it's about a lot more than just saving up for retirement.
Here's a really powerful definition. It's the point where your assets, whether that's from property, investments, or a business, are generating enough income to cover your life. You can still work if you want to, but you don't have to just to pay the bills.
This right here is the core difference. The employee mindset focuses on small salary hikes and job security. The rich mindset, it sees a job as a temporary tool, a way to save up a runway of 6 to 12 months of cash, which then gives them the freedom to take a calculated risk on a new idea or a business. And that idea of taking a calculated risk leads us directly to trap number 4, playing it way too safe. It sounds counterintuitive, I know, but being overly conservative with your money, especially when you're young, it means the biggest risk you can take is taking no risk at all.
This quote puts it perfectly. When you're young, you have fewer responsibilities and you have decades to recover from any losses. That is your peak risk-taking capacity. It's a powerful asset you can use for some serious growth. Now, this doesn't mean being reckless. It means taking smart, calculated risks. Allocate a small portion of your portfolio, say 5 to 10%, to assets that have a huge potential upside. And crucially, invest in areas you actually understand, and view any losses as just the price of your financial education.
Which brings us to one of the biggest traps of all, the invisible script that society hands us. It's that pressure to buy a big house, a new car, and have a lavish wedding, and it's often financed with just crippling debt.
If buying a home is a non-negotiable for you, here's a fantastic rule of thumb to do it responsibly. It's the 3-20-30-40 rule. Your home price should be no more than 3 times your annual income, with a loan tenure of 20 years or less, your total EMIs under 30% of your salary, and a 40% down payment.
And here's why that 20-year part is so critical. On a 30-lakh loan, if you extend the tenure from 20 to 30 years, it will cost you an extra 23 lakhs in interest alone. That's nearly the cost of the entire loan paid directly to the bank.
The same logic applies to cars. The 20-10-4 rule gives you a simple guardrail, a 20% down payment, a total monthly cost under 10% of your income, and the loan is paid off in 4 years. This makes sure your car serves you, not the other way around.
This leads to a really crucial insight. True wealth is often invisible. When you see someone with expensive things, you're seeing what they've spent, not what they have. Real wealth is in the assets they own, hidden away below the surface.
And that brings us to our final and most important trap. Or maybe it's the key to avoiding all the others. It's the one skill that truly separates the wealthy from everyone else. And that skill is financial literacy.
Ultimately, escaping these traps is about making a permanent mindset shift, and the source leaves us with one powerful question to filter every single choice you make. It's not about having a ton of money right now, it's about making decisions like people who are financially successful. So before you spend, or borrow, or invest, just ask yourself, is this what a rich person would do?